All right, we're going to tackle one of the absolute biggest decisions any service business owner has to make: how to set your rate. Get this wrong, and well, the business struggles. But get it right, and it just unlocks everything.
So let me just start with the question that I know keeps a lot of founders up at night. Are you really charging what you're worth? It's such a simple question, right? But the answer? That can feel incredibly complicated and, let's be honest, pretty stressful.
You see, we tend to treat our rate like it's just some math problem, but it is so much more than that. Your hourly rate isn't just a number on an invoice. It's basically the DNA of your entire business strategy. It dictates everything, from the kind of talent you can afford to the clients you end up attracting.
To really see what I mean, let's dive into what I call the rates ripple effect. We're going to see exactly why this one single number has such a huge impact on, well, your whole operation.
Just look at how these four areas are all connected. It's all tied to your rate. If the rate is too low, profitability obviously suffers. That directly hits your ability to pay good wages and get top talent. And at the same time, a low rate, it kind of signals budget to the market, right? It sets low client expectations and traps you in that dreaded race to the bottom.
So, how do we actually build a rate that works? Well, it all starts with a really solid foundation. We're going to break down the 3 essential layers of cost that you absolutely have to account for.
Think of it like you're building a house. You've got 3 core components you just can't skip: your direct costs, your business overhead, and of course, your profit margin. So let's take a look at each one.
First up, we've got direct costs. This is the simplest layer to understand, really. It's the money you spend to actually deliver your service. So we're talking about your team's wages, plus all those related costs, like payroll taxes and benefits. This is your absolute non-negotiable floor.
Okay, next is business overhead. You can think of these as the cost of keeping the lights on. They're the costs that keep your business running, even when you're not directly working with a client. Things like insurance, maybe an office, software, marketing, all that essential stuff that, honestly, people often forget to really factor in properly.
And finally, the most critical part, and it's the one a lot of owners feel kind of guilty about: your profit margin. But listen, this is not greed. It's the fuel for your growth. It's what lets you reinvest in the business, to innovate for your clients, and ultimately, it's your reward for taking on all the risk of being an entrepreneur. You don't need to apologize for it.
Okay, so we've built our cost-based foundation. But, and this is a big but, if we stop there, we're missing a massive piece of the puzzle. Now we have to look outside our own spreadsheet and move from just covering costs to figuring out our true market value.
I mean, you don't operate in a vacuum, right? A rate that looks great on paper might be totally out of sync with what's going on in your area. You've got to do your homework. What are clients used to paying? What are your direct competitors charging? This context is absolutely vital.
And this leads us to 2 really different ways of thinking about your price. A cost-based rate, and basically asks, what's the bare minimum I need to make to survive? But a value-based rate, it totally flips the script. It focuses on the client's outcome and asks a much more powerful question: what is the incredible result I deliver truly worth?
So that brings us to the most important part of all this, which is a real shift in mindset. We're moving away from the calculator and more into the philosophy of your business. It's all about understanding that your rate is a statement of your value.
This is the core idea right here. Your rate should reflect value, not just cost. It's a simple sentence, but it is a massive strategic shift. Think about it. Are you pricing based on what it costs you to do the work, or are you pricing based on the peace of mind, the time you save, or the huge problem you solve for your client?
Because here's the honest-to-goodness truth. When you consistently undervalue your services, you're not doing anybody any favors. You are setting yourself and your team on a direct path to burnout. And your business, it's just going to stagnate. You won't have the resources to get better, to improve, or to grow.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Is your rate just a number you picked to cover your bills? Or is it a confident statement about the incredible value you bring to your clients? Because really, the answer to that question will define the entire future of your business.